Hey, we are back with 11.3 notes. This is the part 2 of the video. Last video, we multiplied and simplified rational expressions, and in this video, we are going to divide rational expressions. Remember that rational expressions are fractions where the numerator and denominator are both polynomials. Okay. So when we multiplied, we factored the top and bottom of each rational, and then we crossed out one on top and one on the bottom of factors that match each other. And we recall that it doesn't matter if the top and the bottom are in the same fraction or in different fractions when we have multiplication. Dividing basically includes the same things as multiplying, except we are going to flip the second or the bottom fraction over so that we can use multiplication. Now, when I do problems like number 6, where there's a top fraction, the pink and green, and a bottom fraction, the orange and blue, I like to rewrite these so that they look like problem 5, so that you can follow the same kind of a pattern. Okay. After you flip that second fraction, you follow all of those multiplication steps. So you factor the top and the bottom of both fractions, and then you do your crossouts. So let's take a look at example 4. I already have my fraction bars written, and as we flip that second fraction, the division changes to multiplication immediately. So we rewrite the first fraction. It is x squared minus 3x minus 18 over 2x squared minus 12x. Our second fraction, the bottom moves up to the top, so 2x here, and the top moves down to the bottom, x squared minus 9. Okay, then we factor top and bottom. Our top on green is a trinomial shortcut, so that's going to be our x and our x. Big number is negative, small number has the opposite sign. Looks like positive 3 and negative 6. Okay, denominator. The denominator has a greatest common factor. Notice if there's only 2 terms, we cannot do that trinomial thing. So this one has a GCF. 2x goes into both of those terms. So 2x times, let's divide that out. So pink down to pink here. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. Negative 12x divided by 2x is negative 6. Now we're ignoring the original problem. We're just going off of our newly flipped fraction. So this 2x, there's only one term. There is no GCF or anything. It's just a 2x. Denominator, orange. We have x squared minus 9. There's only 2 terms, so it's not a trinomial, but we do have perfect squares. So x squared and 9 are both perfect squares. Let's draw in the pattern. Parentheses times parentheses. 1 plus, 1 minus. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 9 is 3. And now we just cancel. We cross stuff out. We have an x minus 6 top and bottom, cross, cross. We have an x plus 3 top and bottom, cross, cross. And we have a 2 on top and bottom, cross, cross. We also just have an x top and bottom, cross, cross. So all that is remaining is the x minus 3. Note that its location is in the denominator, so let's write that on the bottom over here, x minus 3. And if there is nothing left over in the numerator, everything has crossed out, we put a 1 as a placeholder. Number 5, division again. So we're going to copy down the first fraction, 12x cubed over x squared minus 12x plus 36. We flip the second fraction, 28x to the 7th. And the top becomes x squared minus 2x minus 24. Okay, as we changed the second fraction to flip it upside down, the division sign, it changed to a plus sign. All right, let's factor. We have 12x cubed on the top here. It is still just 12x cubed. Denominator is a trinomial. It's a shortcut because there's no number in front of the x squared. So it is x. The big number is negative because that sign is negative. And the small number, since this is a positive, is going to have the same sign as this. So copy this sign over here. What adds to get negative 12 and multiplies to get 36? How about negative 6 and negative 6? Okay, blue. This is another shortcut trinomial. Okay, so x and x. Big sign is negative. Small sign has the opposite. Plus. Okay, how about positive 4 and negative 6? And then the denominator is only one term, so it does not simplify. It's still just 28x to the 7th. Okay, let's do some crossing. We got an x minus 6 on the bottom and on the top. That is all that we can cancel from what we've got. So on top we have 12x cubed times x plus 4 over, let's put this single term in the front, 28x to the 7th times x minus 6. We can do a little bit more simplifying other than what we've already done by doing what we did on the first video from 11.2. So we'll ignore what's in the parentheses, just focus on those outside numbers like your GCFs. So 12 over 28 does simplify. If you go 12 divided by 28 and hit math, enter, enter, it becomes 3 over 7. Notice that the 12 and the 28 is just the simplified versions of those go on that same fraction bar. Okay, then the x's. They will cancel a little bit as well. The bigger exponent is on the bottom, so we're going to put an x on the bottom. And then we subtract those exponents. 7 minus 3 is 4, so give that x a little exponent of 4. So we've taken care of the coefficients for the 3 over 7. We've taken care of these x's, that's the x to the 4th. These x's do not simplify because they are part of a set of parentheses, they're part of a factor. So let's just copy down x plus 4 on top and x minus 6 on the bottom for our final answer. Okay, last problem, number 6. Like I said before, we have this giant fraction. It's kind of terrible to look at. So let's take this bottom fraction and just move it to the side. Okay, because what this says is top fraction divided by bottom fraction. So I'm going to take the 10x minus 100 and put it up here. And the 10x minus 30 and put it down here. Okay, so the whole bottom fraction, still with division, has just scooted over here. Okay, next thing. So this is all gone. Let's copy the first fraction like we've been doing in examples 4 and 5. Copy the first fraction, x squared minus 9x minus 10 over 6x squared plus 6x. Since it says division, we are changing it to multiplication, and we are flipping the second fraction. So orange moves to the bottom, 10x minus 100. Blue moves to the top, 10x minus 30. Now we have a multiplication problem, so we factor and cross out. Trinomial on top with a shortcut, so it's x minus 10, x plus 1. Pink has a GCF of 6x times x plus 1. Blue, GCF is 10, so 10 times x minus 3. And orange has a GCF of 10 as well, so 10 times x minus 10. All right, what can we cross out? What matches? So we have an x plus 1 on top and bottom, cross, cross. x minus 10, top and bottom, cross, cross. We have GCFs that were both 10. Since they perfectly match, they can cross as well. They were outside, they were not part of another factor. Nothing else crosses, so we've got an x minus 3 remaining on top. On bottom, we just have that 6x, which was a GCF before. We don't have any outside GCFs on the top to cancel with that GCF on the bottom, so really we're done with this problem also. Okay, so on the next page should be our 11.3 assignment. If you have any questions on that, let me know.